In this video, we're going to talk about the top 11 tips to differentiate your profile so that you can really stand out amongst your peers on LinkedIn. I love this quote from Richard Branson because it really talks about telling your story and thinking about your target audience so that you're really giving them what they're looking for. If you want to stand out from the crowd, give people a reason not to forget you. Keep that in mind as we go through this video, and keep that in mind when you're thinking about how you want to be standing out. So the top tips for your LinkedIn profile, here's a list. Professional photo, a custom web address, a search engine optimized headline, contact information, compelling summary to keep it interesting for your readers, work experience, adding a volunteer section, honors and recognition, courses and projects, publishing articles, and even getting a little creative to create a background image for behind your profile photo. So the professional looking photo, this may sound obvious, but a lot of people actually don't take the time to get a decent looking photo. So whether you have a professional photographer take it or someone who's really good with a camera but not using a cell phone, then take advantage of that. Make sure it's high resolution, it's in focus, and that it's well lit. Have a good background behind you. And using a white background is actually really effective with the new LinkedIn because your headshot's a little bit smaller now in a circle. And if you have a white background, your face actually pops out more than if you have a more neutral or textured background. However, those work too. So it's not a hard and fast rule. Make sure it's professional and that you're wearing the clothes that would be what you would wear to work for the type of job that you're looking for. And show your personality. Don't be too stern. Don't be smiley and like this, but try to find that place that is just comfortable for you. Here are a few samples of various people. A few of these are actually MBA candidates. And you can see different clothes, different types of a smile. The one in the lower right is actually a sales guy. So usually salespeople are a little more extroverted in their photos, and that makes sense. The custom URL is an opportunity for you to be able to take the default LinkedIn URL that they give you, which has symbols and numbers and letters in it, which is kind of what I call gobbledygook. So this is a way, and it's free, and it works in the free version of LinkedIn, that you can create a custom URL that is unique to you and perhaps your name. So in this screenshot, you can actually go to the upper right part of your profile page and click on Edit your public profile. It's the second one down from Add New Profile section. This box will open up. This is a big screenshot. It won't be this big when you open it up. And so as you can see with me, I put in my last name, my first and last name. And you can just do that by clicking the pencil icon, and then it will come up and give you a space after that / to try your name in there. Or maybe you can add an initial and see how that works for you. Some people actually use their Twitter handle, but please don't use the @ symbol. You also have 5 to 30 characters that you can use, a minimum of 5. Do not use spaces and symbols or special characters. So the search engine optimized headline is a little bit more complex, but it's so critical and worth it for you to be found online. Because if people go into the search engine on Google or LinkedIn search or Bing, and they type in something that is looking for someone like you in your industry, but they don't necessarily know your name specifically, then having a search engine optimized headline is really helpful. Remember, your headline is the first thing people see when they get to your profile page. It should tell a mini story about you, so a visitor will want to learn more about you. You want them to click on that See More link just below that headline. Use keywords that are relevant to your industry and skills. And a keyword search term rich headline gets you discovered online. Here's a sample of a gentleman who is an MBA candidate, and he's in a business school. He lists himself as a Google Marketing Solutions MBA intern. Instead of just saying MBA candidate, MBA student, or MBA intern, he's actually put the company he's working with, and he's given a specific aspect of the business, which is marketing solutions. This woman is also a MBA student who has graduated and now is in a national nonprofit. So she actually researched her keywords and search terms and came up with public health advocate, which is actually a well-ranking term. So if you type that into Google, then she's more likely to pop up in LinkedIn search. Campaign strategist, writer is a great term. It is a little bit more generic, and so she's going to get a lot of results there. And then she kind of goes off to give it her own little personality and puts storyteller and communications boss. And then she puts out there that she's a trail runner. I always suggest that you can put in a little something quirky at the end, and it doesn't have to be corny, but something that's going to just show a little bit about something you enjoy, because it can actually be a conversation starter, an icebreaker with a recruiter or career manager. This gentleman was also an MBA candidate, and he didn't use search terms as much here, but he really tells a story. He's also focusing on the outcome that he provides. So tax reducer, small business lover, family finance optimizer, out-of-box jumper. That just describes his personality and the kinds of things that he does for people because he has a financial planning business. And this woman is an MBA candidate, but again, she has specified the type of business professional work experience that she is in. So she puts MBA candidate in sustainable entrepreneurship. Again, that is telling the reader exactly what she's interested in and her specialty. You can watch the video 3 Steps to Optimize Your LinkedIn Headline for far more details and a detailed way on how you can do a keyword search easily. Tip number 4 is contact information. Again, this might seem like another obvious place to put the information, but I can't tell you how many times a lot of people actually ignore this. So you can obviously start with your profile, your LinkedIn is there, and again, that custom URL is going to be much more user-friendly for someone. And actually, just as an aside, what I do suggest is to take that LinkedIn that LinkedIn address that's specific to you. You can use that effectively. You can actually create a business card for yourself or as an informational tidbit to leave with them in case you just meet them in passing. You can also use it, of course, on the top of your resume. You can also use it on the signature of your email. So you can really utilize that user-friendly, readable URL in many places. For websites, you have up to 3 websites that you can list, and those are all clickable. So if somebody clicks on those, it will take them to the website. Any other place in LinkedIn where you put up a URL, it's not going to be clickable. You can still do it because somebody, if they're interested and want to go further, they'll cut and paste the link. And then for phone, you can put your mobile, work number, whatever. What I suggest actually is to get a Google Voice number, and we'll get into that in a minute. Because if you're going to put yourself out there, you want to be able to be found. So here are some tips. Create a different phone number, and you can get your area code by doing this, with Google Voice, which is free. You do have to have a Gmail account to be able to get a Google Voice number, but it is free. You can just type into the browser that you're using, Google Voice, and then you can pick out a number that you can have forwarded to your cell, and then you're not putting your personal cell phone number out in the public domain. You can also, if you want to, create a separate email account from your personal account so that if people get in touch with you there, then they still have an easy way to get in touch with you. But again, you're not putting your personal email out there in the public domain. Having a Google Voice number or a separate email account is just basically a safety measure so that if for some reason something awkward or something odd happens, then you can have a number where people can reach you, but you wouldn't have to go through the hassle of changing your email or your phone number. Number 5, compelling summary. This is the meat of your profile. You want to have 3 elements to grab your reader's attention. I also call it a 3-part recipe. So first, you want to begin with who you are, your slice of life story. Second, you want to identify the problem that people are looking to have resolved. So for example, in a job description, pay attention to the kinds of things that they're putting out there saying, we need somebody who can do X. X is the problem that they have that they need solved. And then the third part of that is to describe how you solve their problem. Your specific skills or highlight a brief case study that shows that showcases and highlights that achievement. So an attention-grabbing headline or an interesting introduction for the summary is really important because, again, that's another way to hook your reader to keep them captivated so that they'll want to learn more about you. This one, the first one here, I swam my way into college, was a person who was actually an MBA candidate. She had gone into her undergraduate on a swim scholarship. And so swimming was her thing. And it is what got her into college. In fact, she got a full scholarship for it. So to catch people's attention, she put in there, I swam my way into college. She put that at the beginning of her summary. And that is just a captive way to get somebody's attention. The other one that's down below there, inspiring others to focus on their strengths and skills to reach their personal and professional goals is where I thrive. My belief in transformational lifelong learning led to my career in mission-driven organizations committed to making an impact on people's lives. So that was the first couple of sentences to start their summary. And again, you could also take a nugget of that and use something out of there to put in your headline as a little slogan. Here's a couple more. Creativity led to entrepreneurship and the pursuit of marketing. I enjoy inventing products and finding ways to translate creativity to the business world, from designing t-shirts to starting companies which help veterans and entrepreneurs. The introduction to the summary on the bottom, I'm looking to further develop and elevate my career. He names brand management, which is what he wants to specialize in. He talks about the type of company he wants to work with, one with an entrepreneurial spirit. And so he's talking to somebody's culture and he's saying, this is the kind of place I want to work. And then at the end there, he says authentic, effective, and high quality products motivate him. So he talks about his motivation for wanting to work with a company with shared values. Just like the stories we saw in the previous examples, those first two sentences of your summary are critical. In the new LinkedIn, the first two sentences, or the first two lines actually, of your summary are what appear just below where you put your headline and your profile shot. And so if you can have that first sentence be something that really, again, captivates somebody's attention to click that See More link, that is your goal here. We do have another video on personal story to help you dig deeper in this. The following sections I'm about to describe can be added under background, and you can see that in the upper right. You're going to actually click on Add New Profile section. And then this will open up and it shows you the listing of the sections for your background: work experience, education, and volunteer experience. You click on the plus button to add those relevant sections.